Thank you, everybody, for coming back to the Riggs Beast channel. As always, let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And let's go beast on this week's special edition of Let's Talk Wrestling, WWE Payback, preview and predictions. Now, to be honest, the build has been bad for this show. Legitimately, only 3 matches jump off the card as interesting. And one of them is simply for the intrigue of how they're going to get to a match most likely at SummerSlam. So let's go through the early stuff. Let's breeze through the things that really don't matter, or we already universally know what's going to happen. The pre-show features a Miz TV featuring Finn Balor. Somehow Dean Ambrose will get involved. This is just to keep Finn Balor on television. Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Really? Does it matter? The sole purpose of this is the winning tag team in this match most likely will be lined up for a feud with the Hardys. May have given away a prediction, so I'm just going to go with it. By the way, the Hardys will retain over Sheamus and Cesaro. So now that we got that one out of the way, the winner of Enzo and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, I'm going to go with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson for the win. No real rhyme or reason, just see the heel team being lined up to face the Hardys after Sheamus and Cesaro. That's it. That can go either way. Really doesn't matter. Next, let's go to the Cruiserweight Championship match, Neville versus Austin Aries. Now, you would think that Austin Aries would get the title here. You would think that this is where the babyface goes over and Aries gets the championship. Well, I have news for you. Austin Aries is not winning the championship. They just put Perkins with Neville. They're just starting something with that. My feeling is it's going to be Kalisto down the road who gets the title from Neville. WWE creation. Just kind of the little things they do. So Neville is going to retain the Cruiserweight Championship over Austin Aries. What happens with Aries after this remains to be seen. Most of the Cruiserweights are in obscurity until they're in a title match or go into a lame 2 or 3 week angle. Is that what's going to happen to a talent like Aries? I hope not. I really hope they take Aries out of the Cruiserweight division. At this point, it's not doing him any favors being in it. You tried to give it the jolt with his name. It's not working. We went over this on the last Let's Talk Wrestling. The Cruiserweight division needs help, but there are so many things ahead of it right now that need help. You can't just jump to this. My opinion, you switch Kalisto with Aries, put Aries on the main scene. Kalisto is the one, I believe, who takes the title off Neville. Neville here tonight, though, will retain against Austin Aries. Neville's still your Cruiserweight champion. Next, we're going to go with the House of Horrors match, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Now, until WrestleMania, this was one of my most favorite feuds in a long time. It was slow, it was nice, it had story, it had intrigue, it had twists, it had turns, and then they just crashed and burned it at Mania for a cheap match. Then they move Bray Wyatt over to Raw, kill the angle. The rematch Bray had for his title, they take away the title because you can't. See, here's why they took away the title. Let's just be clear on this. Brock Lesnar is your Universal Champion. Randy Orton, of course, the WWE Champion for SmackDown. Brock Lesnar not on the show defending the belt. So if you have Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, it becomes crystal clear Randy Orton cannot lose the belt. So to give this match any kind of suspense, they had to make it a non-title match. This is why I had the idea before it got done. This is why it got done, however. Now, as for who's going to win, I truly believe with all my heart and soul, they're going to have Randy Orton win this match. I really do. I really believe they're going to have Randy Orton win this. So I believe my prediction is going to be wrong. My predictions are more based on what I believe they should do, which is why my official prediction is Bray Wyatt has to win. Bray Wyatt can get the win because it's not for a title. Bray Wyatt will win this match. And I would not book any interference. I would have Bray Wyatt go over clean. Here's why. You want to have Bray Wyatt looking good on Raw for his probable feud with Finn Balor. You want to have Randy Orton looking vulnerable. I might not like the feud. We're going to keep that opinion off this show. But you want to keep Randy Orton looking vulnerable for Jinder Mahal. So how do you do that? Bray Wyatt wins clean. That's the prediction, though what I believe WWE is going to do is just have Randy win because Bray Wyatt is the new eater of L's, and that's what I think they're going to do. But let's move on to the Raw Women's Championship. Let's go to Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Now, this is an interesting one. This one comes at you from many different angles. See, Alexa Bliss just joined the show 3 weeks ago, excuse me. So is she really going to take the title? It doesn't make much sense for her to take the title. On the other hand, it appears they're going to prolong the Sasha Banks heel turn, which has been hinted at, very strongly hinted at, to where anybody can see it coming. But do you hold off on it, or do you go with it quickly? See, the next pay-per-view Raw is going to have is a joint one. I believe it's joint for Money in the Bank. So you need to save it. You need television for Raw. And both ways work. The one that helps both women is Alexa Bliss winning the championship. That one helps both women. Keeps Alexa relevant. Sasha will be around Bayley. You can have Mickie James as well. You can bring in Nia as well. You can have women involved. If Alexa loses, it is rinse, repeat, move on, and my fear that Alexa Bliss gets forgotten about on Raw begins to be realized. What I'm going to do for my prediction here, because this is 50-50 to me, guys, completely 50-50, is I'm going to go off the old creed, whoever got over on Raw usually loses at the pay-per-view. Alexa Bliss got over on Raw. But this goes against another creed. You never win at home. Bayley is going to be in her hometown for Payback in San Jose. One of these two old wrestling habits is wrong. Either you're going to win in your hometown, or the person who got over on Raw doesn't lose. The one that normally happens more, the person who got over on Raw normally doesn't win. So my pick is Bayley is going to retain the Raw Women's Championship. It is 50-50. I am not for sure on this one, but the official prediction, Bayley wins, Bayley retains. Next, Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. This is as simple as can be. Fozzie's album's about to drop. Jericho's time is about done. This feud was really done for Mania. Kevin Owens being moved. I don't know why this stayed Owens versus Jericho. Guess to get more dates out of Jericho. Owens is going to win. Owens is going to retain the belt and go into his feud with AJ Styles. Jericho, most likely after this, goes off with Fozzy. Great run by Jericho. Kevin Owens has been fantastic. Both these guys worked well with each other. But like I said, kudos to Jericho for a great run when he came back, and it didn't start off well at all. He made it great. Him and Owens were great together. It's a little saddening to know that this is about the end for Jericho for a while, but overall, well done, sir. Next, Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. I have very strong feelings on this match, and I'll make them brief because there's not much to say. Samoa Joe needs the win. Samoa Joe has to win. Samoa Joe has to win dominantly. The reason I speak like this, the reason I say Samoa Joe has to win dominantly, is it goes back to a point I made a few weeks ago. Samoa Joe, for him not losing, has been put in positions in every match where he looks like he's going to lose. He's not booked in matches extremely strong. He was left off of Mania entirely, which hurts his stock. You need a jolt back into Joe. Samoa Joe losing to Seth Rollins here, though may not be devastating, would take a long time to get Joe even back to the point he's at. If Seth Rollins wins, what is the point of Samoa Joe? Why do you fear Samoa Joe? Samoa Joe needs to be feared like Braun Strowman is, but against right now your upper mid card or other main eventers that Braun isn't dealing with. And this is the perfect opportunity for Samoa Joe. No interference, no BS. He just beats Rollins. Just beats him straight up. And they can even continue the feud on Raw, getting into Money in the Bank. It makes Joe a viable Money in the Bank contender. Seth Rollins could become a viable Money in the Bank contender. With Joe winning, you can see him instantly looking like he's going to get catapulted there and show him in a different light. Samoa Joe wins. Samoa Joe wins convincingly. Now your main event. Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. So let's see. In storyline, Reigns has a separated shoulder, cracked ribs, and this was only 4 weeks ago after the euphoric 10-minute beating by Braun Strowman. Most people believe that Roman Reigns is going to come back. He hasn't been on TV since this, by the way, which I'll get to in a minute. Most people believe Roman Reigns is going to come back, be heroic, and defeat Braun Strowman. Wrong, sir. Wrong, ma'am. Wrong. Braun Strowman is going to win this match. I should put it better. Braun Strowman is going to go over in this match. Here's what I mean. Number one, Reigns has not been on television since the beating. He's been mentioned, he's had vignettes, but he's not been on TV. Why? Because they want to keep the heat down from him beating Taker. And storyline purposes, but mainly to try to kill a little bit of the heat from him beating Taker. It won't work. It didn't work with Triple H for 32. It's not going to work now, but I get it. Secondly, Roman Reigns beating The Undertaker has solidified his position. And now, the more immediate future, as you can tell, just from recent Raws with Brock, is Braun. Braun is the more immediate future for Brock Lesnar. Braun is the more immediate contender for Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns needs to be kept away. How do you do this? Braun wins. And I say Braun goes over and Braun wins because you can keep the feud going, because essentially it would be 1-1. Fastlane, Roman wins. Payback, Braun wins. You now have more storyline to continue this feud, getting up into Money in the Bank, where then Roman could go on to a different feud with whomever. But that's it for Payback. Those are all the matches. It has not been a good build. Like I said, there's about 3 matches that actually catch your interest in my eyes. Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Those are the 3 main matches where the result is in doubt, and there's question as to the winner, how they're going to do it, where they're going to go. But tell me in the comments what you think. Give me your winners for Payback. Hit me up on Twitter at the Riggs Beast. Give me your winners for Payback. But as always, thank you everybody for watching the Riggs Beast channel. Let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And as always, guys, keep it beast.